products that can be exported. First of all, let's look at Nigeria as a country in terms of the total export. These are exports 2023. You notice this is crude oil and gas, right? And this is the one we are focusing on because our major focus is non-oil export. So I will expand this now so we can see fertilizer, gold, raw aluminium, cocoa, cashew, scrap copper. Let me increase it a little. Cocoa beans, tobacco, soya beans, coconut, Brazil nut, cashew nut, spices, wood charcoal, rough wood, crustacean, coconut oil, cut flour, chocolate. These are coconut shell, raw sugar, different food items for export. And then this is expanding the food item. Then we have vegetable products, cut flour, oilseed, locust, perfume plant, spices, then crustacean seafood. Now, one of the low-hanging fruit you can do for export is under this will be snail. I've done live snail before. Live snail you can do it with little money, but the only challenge with live snail is that you have to go by air. It has to go by air, and some countries want it processed. Like if you go to the US, they want it frozen, but UK wants it to be moving. They'll be sure it's not dead snail, it's not detailed. And when you are exporting it, you must put vegetable inside. So for them to eat in transit, if you get there and there's no vegetable, they can arrest the importer. They say they are starving the snail. Animal rights, they are starving it. They are starving it. But you can do that on a small scale as live snail. So raw bone, then coconut oil, other vegetable oil, palm oil. Someone talk about palm oil, right? Palm oil. Now, we have a good advantage in palm oil now in the US. I hope we'll take advantage of it. Indonesia, 34% tariff. Malaysia, 32% tariff from the US. Nigeria, 14% tariff. Two major palm oil suppliers in the world is Indonesia and Malaysia. Nigeria produces palm oil, but we are not competitive enough. Now, they are going to pay 20% extra to the US market. We are at 14%, we have an advantage. I hope the palm oil people are going to consider looking at the US market. Because sincerely, we have an advantage actually, to be able to take advantage of palm oil in the US market. Okay, so let's look at the commodity season in Nigeria. We are in April, right? So in April, ginger is on, sesame is on, gum arabic is on, cashew is on, mid crop of cocoa is on, rubber is on. You notice majority of commodities towards the end of the year and towards the beginning of the year. January, February, March, October, November, December. So that means if you want to do commodities, these are the period you will be able to do commodities. These are the period you'll be able to do commodities. Because at this time, so a lot of people are doing cashew nuts now. In fact, some video online, people are asking people to buy, accumulate it, to be able to, and the processors are buying to be able to store up for processing afterwards. So if you are looking to export, like shea butter now, shea butter will still start. Because with the shea nut will start and then shea butter continues. And then granite, garlic, yam also. Yam is a good product for export. The challenge of yam is the fact that it's perishable. So if you are exporting perishable product, it has to go in the refrigerated container. And that means you need to know the temperature you have to keep it to be able to ensure that the product does not get spoiled in transit. Then you can do solid minerals. I did solid minerals for many years also. I was doing lead and zinc. I did a lot of lead and zinc in China. Lead and zinc are very good ones. Lithium is coming up. Lithium is a very good one, and there's a lot of demand for lithium because of batteries and what is going on in the world. Solar panel, the fact that we are thinking of environmental sustainability, so you need to use clean energy, clean sort of energy. So lithium, tantalite, wolframite, limestone, kaolin, tar, granite, coal, gold, iron, so many solid minerals for export. But if you export something in Nigeria, you need, now if you're exporting agro commodity, you need export certificate from NEPC, plus NAFDA, among all other regular documents. If you are doing that, if you are doing raw, I'm sorry, processed agro, but if you are doing raw commodity, you will need phytosanitary and fumigation certificate. In some cases, NAFDAC is asking for certification because of rejection of commodities, and they say their jurisdiction covers it, among other documents. But if you are doing solid minerals, you will need a permit from Ministry of Mine. You need a permit from Ministry of Mine. You need a mineral trading license and an export permit. So you need two documents, among other documents that you will need to. No, commodity we need fumigation and phytosanitary certificate, among other documents. Like if you are exporting, I'm sure you have heard about NXP, right? None of you are familiar with NXP. NXP, okay. Okay, you didn't talk about NXP yesterday. NXP. Have you talked about export documentation at all? No. Yes, former export, yes. Oh, no, it's all me. I don't talk about former export. I don't talk about informal export. Former export. I don't talk about former export. It has to be formal. If you do informal, you can't grow. I say what? No, you can still go by air. You can still go by air and it's formal. It's just if you are doing 500 kg, you can still do your documentation at the airport and go by air. If you are going by sea, you can still do your documentation. The reason why you should do formal is when you need money, bank will not believe you are exporter. You won't get money now. How do you show you are exporter if you are not doing documentation? It's good to do documentation. It will cost you. In fact, you don't even pay any serious extra. The only thing government will charge is 0.5% of the FOB value. That's the only thing you pay. Okay, that means if I'm shipping good of $1,000, I'll pay 1% is 10, I mean. I'll pay $5 to government. If I'm doing good of $1,000, I'll pay $5 to the government. It's not even paying to the government. Government have an agency that supervise, that check what you're exporting. And that agency, they need to pay them for their service. That's why you do that. So it's formal. I'm keen on formal. Yes, sir. No, I can mention it if you want to talk about it, because I had to ask a lot of questions about what I'm still talking about, and I'm talking about based on what I was doing. But if you talk about it, I can talk about it later. HS code is not. How do I describe it now? You don't need to be a master of HS code to perform a lesson. You just need to know the HS code of your product, which you can always check online.
Sorry, I know I'm asking.
Okay.
For the kind of products you export from palm oil, you realize that it usually will not have a very direct, and these things have to do with the tariff, right? So you don't have a very clear understanding of the very exact HS code. If you're exporting a container of food, for example, so you probably looking for the HS code around ground, around peanuts and all of that. And at times, being able to eventually finalize on which of them is the most appropriate HS code can be a challenge.
That's exactly what I said. I said that should be, for me, that should be a major worry for the buyer, not you. Because the buyer is the one that will pay tariff upon at destination. So when he's applying to his government what is important, he will put the tariff HS code on the government website to show what is important. Here, you still put HS code where you're processing online, only that if it's not very exact, it doesn't have serious consequences in Nigeria for export. But like you say, it has serious consequences for import because you pay duty, which is what I presume what is talking about. But for export, because you're not paying duty, so even if you didn't put the right one, it's not consequential because nobody will charge you for it. But the importer cannot make that mistake. The importer cannot afford that mistake because the importer must, else, like you say, the person might go and choose. In fact, the way I like to put it is, talking about HS code now. It's not even HS code, description. How will you describe palm wine? Is it palm wine or palm juice? I'm trying to emphasize to let you understand important HS code is based on what it's saying. Is it palm wine or palm juice? Okay, so Hold on now, hold on now, hold on. Hold on now. It's rich people that take wine. Juice is for nutrition. Everybody should take it.
Yes.
So the way some country categorize it, if you describe palm wine, you pay more duty. If you describe that palm juice, you pay less. I'm trying to emphasize what he's saying. That is important. Only that description now is important for the guy abroad. And the guy abroad will have told you on the bill of lading, put palm juice, not palm wine. Now, but that's very important descriptions. That can make a difference of 30% in duty payment. Yes.
You say it's palm juice. Now, when this blood case that who they carry as an analysis?
Hold on. The fact that it's a wine does not mean it's not a juice. It's still a juice from palm. So I can choose not to call it palm wine and call it palm juice. They don't need to test it. They just need to know it's a juice. That's what they want to do. And I want to tell them it's a juice, and it's indeed a juice. Only that it's a juice that have alcohol. Hence, wine. But I can choose to call it a juice. Let me give you another one. Still talking about what it says, but this one for import in Nigeria. In Nigeria, when you are importing, like used clothes, not allowed in Nigeria. So if you see in the market, you see okrika, it's banned. But when people import it, they don't call it used clothes, they call it mutilated rag. No. Mutilated rag. Now, mutilated rag is a raw material for beddings, for duvet, for factory. So if mutilated rag is assumed that it's a raw material to be used in factory, but people bringing it, no, they're going to take it to Yaba to go and sell. It's still used clothes and it's imported as mutilated rag. That means it's a raw material for use, not for people to wear. But the people that bring it in didn't know that it's not raw material, it's for people to wear. I'm trying to paint a picture about description.
So let me also say, because of you teaching formal lessons. Now, this every formal lesson, when you give palm oil to, you're not selling your palm oil to a buyer. So I'm telling you the tricky part of HS codes. If you want to export your palm oil to a warehouse, right? You have produced it, you have packaged it, you must look at the HS code. Now they're talking about duty that you are likely to pay because they're not selling it to someone, they're going to warehouse. So there's a difference. What he's teaching us is, you have a buyer. So the buyer on the other side chooses the HS code so that you're not getting too trouble. But this time around, you're moving products to a warehouse in the US to sell. It's your product.
So you are the importer.
So you're the importer.
So you need HS code.
So you need to understand HS code. Yeah. You need to understand HS code very clearly. Again, let me give you an example of what you call crayfish. Crayfish, for example. In the US, for example, crayfish, the fact that you eat crayfish here does not mean that it is eaten in the US. Alright? So when you are declaring the what you call the HS code for crayfish that is going to the US, it can be a HS code that is for you to feed dogs in the dog formulation. And that's what So it's tricky, you understand? So it's something that when we're talking about this export thing, we need to understand some of these things because they can make you and they may not.
So let me put the context for my conversation. For the context of my conversation is assume you are going to ship when you have a buyer. So it's raising a very important point. You are going to ship when you have a buyer. So let's have that at the back of our mind. And the reason is because it reduces your risk and you won't have to keep the good there for long, hoping that someone is going to buy, which can delay. Do you understand? So I'm assuming you already have a buyer, and if you must ship ahead, it will be like sample. Maybe you are sending it to your representative who is supposed to give it to people that will check it out. So I currently have a client in the UK who is trying to bring a sample of products that is going to give to different buyers for them to see to place order. So that one is like sending sample. So you call it an export. It's still an export, only that I'm just sending sample abroad. But the reason he's doing that is to ensure he creates that demand and have a contract before he now does a shipment. So it's good to lay that context also because of this conversation we had here. Yes, go ahead. Eh?
To understand this context
Yes.
very well.
Yes.
I'm buying an idea from yesterday and today.
Yes.
Whereby yesterday we got to understood that this code can further be modified in
What's
the
that?
country. This AES code can further be modified in the country by they have a unique code but have other sub.
Yes.
Now, what I'm trying to understand now is that is there any deviation from a country, let's take Nigeria as a case study, for us to
Hold on.
Yes.
You see this 6 is the same everywhere. See these 4 are different. So ask your question.
Okay. Now in those in the 4.
Yes. The one you focus on in this conversation is focus on. But this is the same everywhere. This now is very different story. Let me give you an example. If in Nigeria, if you are bringing in generator, let's say this is the HS of generator generally. Now, if I'm bringing a generator that is completely knocked down, 111, 05, 0200, completely knocked down. Completely knocked down is that when I bring the generator, it's completely knocked down, completely broken down. That means they were assembled in Nigeria. But if I bring in whole generator, 1111, 05, 0800, the reason they separate it is Nigeria will put duty on this 5%, duty on this 20%. Because this guy is not adding value to the economy. Because if you bring in 10 containers of generator, you don't need more than 5 boys in the warehouse to sell. But if this guy brings 10 containers, you need hundreds of people to assemble. So it's creating job. So government give him rebate. But it is this tariff numbers that help government to differentiate in Nigeria between this and this. Do you understand? Can you see the importance of this now? But this is still the same for the same item. Now, maize, timber, rawhide and skin, scrap metal, unprocessed rubber latter and rubber log, artifacts and antiquity, wildlife, and all goods imported are prohibited for export in Nigeria. Prohibited for export in Nigeria. What this means is that you cannot export this. If you export it, people export it only that they do illegal business. What I don't understand is how do you use your money to do illegal business? And if they catch you, you go, they will not catch you. They catch you, then you lose everything. So people can take risks, and they will take some risks. I don't want to take risks. Because you see people exporting scrap metal in Nigeria. People dey love scrap metal export, even though it's prohibited. You know, most of the time it doesn't go through the port. Nowadays it doesn't go through the port. They will go through the road. It goes through the road. Okay, let's move on. Now, look at according to Nigerian Promotion Council. The reason I'm showing you this slide, this was a slide on Young Plan and I read a screenshot. And I try to show it every time to let you know that according to Nigerian Promotion Council, these are the number of exporters that exported in Nigeria in 2020. So when I told you 15, I'm adding the bigger one to it. I'm adding the bigger one to it. That's why I said both legal and illegal, 1,500. So these are the number of exporters. Nigeria exports 214 products, meaning there are so many things you can export. Don't restrict yourself. There are so many unusual things that people export. I saw a video recently of Nigerian exporting scorpion venom.
Yes.
Scorpion venom, snake venom. So people are rearing snake, rearing scorpion, exporting the venom. That one, 3.5 liter, 10 million naira, 3.5 liter.
Yes.
10 million naira. Scorpion venom. I'm saying all that to let you know there are so many things that can be exported. Don't restrict yourself. Because when you think of export, you're thinking of there are so many things that can be exported. It's for you to be able to. The real work is to learn how to find buyer. The reason I brought this for you to learn how to find buyer. You guys now will talk about it. To be able to learn. This is accompanied by 27 videos online. So if you get this, you have 27 videos that accompany it, that show you how to use it to be able to find buyers. If you invest time to learn how to find buyers, you will find buyers. I can assure you, you might have a challenge of being able to meet up with the demand. No. Look. Someone was talking to me last year. He said they approached the manager of Walmart in Canada that we would like to supply you cashew nuts. That would be great. Can you supply 100 containers in a month?
My friend came from US. This was US. All the chats, they have worked. We start posting the container chats, like they have worked. He said, I realized that I get the whole of the year. I cannot supply them.
That's kind of demand they have. That's the kind of demand they have.
Whole Nigeria. Those actually Nigeria cannot supply them.
Do you understand? That's the kind of demand they have. That's the kind of demand. So what I say, the real work is not the buyer. Is to be able to get source. Let me give you an example. Something happened to me recently, last month. I got an order for shea butter. You know that's why sometimes when people say they can supply. When it's time to deliver, all story. Wow. I got an order for shea butter. They want 4 containers. I know it wasn't season, so I told them they should let us do 1. They were ready to pay 50%. Yes. You can get, if you are credible, you can get advance. It's not common, but you can get it. Now, the person that claimed he will supply, although I have a friend that told me that it's going to be tough, and I agree, that's why I agreed to 1. But no, claimed he will supply. What can do? He gave us 8,700 per kg, per ton. No, 8,000 per kg, that's 8.7 million. I said, okay, we'll do it. We agree, I told him to send sample. All story. All story. He said, the price has increased. The price they are Monday. The price has increased. I would have thought you already have a friend that would have been able to help you. But he told me it's not. But this person said, he actually chatted me before I even reached out. But where I'm going, I'm trying to tell you that the real work is the product. Yes. It's the product. If you have the product, you get buyer. You have the product, you have picture, you have video that you can ship in the next 1 month, you get buyer. So the real issue is the product. So when you're there, I'm sure you get the buyer. When you not get the buyer, where you ship?
I once had a contract for 480,000 metric tons of palm kernel shells.
I know that one is always palm kernel shell, palm kernel cake, coconut shell, all those waste. Sometimes when people ask, okay, this one has to be shipload now. They might go for a shipload because they are biogas. They are for biogas. So you get those kind of demand actually. So it's to be able to learn and know what to do. So that's why I said the real issue is so that before you approach a buyer, you should be able to know, okay, if they ask me to deliver this quantity, can I? Because like that buyer now, what would the venture calculate that when the season starts, we will venture do the shipment. So that we won't be able to do the shipment right now, that we will not do the shipment much later. And now why is that necessary? Because it's out of season. Ordinarily, if we are very serious as a country, those products should not be out of season. Yes. But the issue in Nigeria today is Nigeria is the largest producer of shea nuts in West Africa. So our people in Benin, Togo, Ghana come to buy from Nigeria. So the demand is high. And unfortunately, some of our people that export charcoal are cutting shea trees to do charcoal. And then that tree does not get to fruit until after 10 years. And someone is cutting it to do charcoal. So they come to do charcoal. Something that took so long, because there's lots of food flow. You can get more information about products from my YouTube channel. We post every day. Global Trade Tutor and Voice of African Trade. We learn a lot from that channel every day. Now, what to know about each product? Now, I've talked about product. What do you need to know? If you say you want to export a product, the question is, what must you know about the product? So don't say, I want to export this product, I don't know about it. Because sometimes you want to export a product, you don't know about the product. What must you know? So, for example, let's use Madame Shea Butter as an example. So, you want to export shea butter. What must you know? You say, okay, this shea butter. Before you say, okay, I want to export this product. What are the information you need to know? Number one, the purpose. Number two, the parameters. Number three, the potential. Number four, the purchasers. Number five, the packaging. Number six, the paperwork. Number seven, the pricing. And number eight, the pitfalls. The reason, the major issue is this one. Yes, the major issue. So I'll take them one by one. Number one, the purpose. This involves knowing the uses of the product. Do you know why it's good to know the uses? You know why it's good to know the uses? The use of this product lets you know the market to target when you are doing your advert. So, for example, this is shea butter. The price of shea butter has gone up. Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why? No, not even that contributed, but that's not the major reason. Hold on, no, that's not the reason. No. Listen, and this is why you should know what they use it for. Chocolate. Major component is cocoa butter. A ton of cocoa is over 10 million naira. It used to be over 10,000 naira. It used to be about 3,000-4,000 naira. Dollars. It's now over $10,000. That's about 50 million. 1 ton of cocoa. Shea butter is a good alternative for cocoa butter. So the producer of chocolate are looking for shea butter. So what happened? The price of shea butter went up. Even though it's up, it's still better than cocoa in price. Can you see how the dynamics is working? How the issue with one product is affecting another product. The issue with one product is affecting another product. So you must know what is being used for. That gives you an idea of the market you should be targeting. So where is the market? But first of all, what they use it for? So, for example, if I want to look for buyer for shea butter, I will ask myself, which country is the major exporter of cosmetics in the world? Then I will now go and check which city in that country produce the cosmetics. Based on that, I will know if I'm doing a Google ad online, this city in this country have a lot of producers of cosmetics, they need shea butter. They are the one that will see my advert. Am I making sense? Yes. So by knowing the uses and knowing the country, you can narrow down on the city in different countries where the uses are likely going to be high. And that will help you in your promotion. If you do the promotion well, you will get people that will show interest in your product online. You just need to invest some money in good advert and target market. So anybody in that country will see the advert in that country. Before you know it, they are showing interest. It's now for you to prove you can deliver. Yes.
How about websites?
You need a website. I'm going to talk about ABC or how to find buyers, and I'm going to talk about that. You need a website. Parameters. What are the specifications? This is shea butter. One of the major challenges of this product is free fatty acid.
Yes.
Major challenge. Free fatty acid concept. Moisture is an issue. Impurity is an issue. You must know the parameter. What are the quality specifications of this product? You must know the potential demand. What is the volume of demand? How much billions of dollars is demanded of this every year? The potential. You must know the purchaser, not just the potential. Which country is there the demand? And who are those buying in that country? The packaging. How am I supposed to package it? I can put it in a carton. I can put it in a plastic bucket, like he said. Do you understand? I can do it like this depending on the demand. The packaging, the paperwork, documentation. What are the documentation requirements? You know, in the other time I told you peculiar documents. Apart from NXP, someone asked about NXP. NXP is NXP, Nigeria Export Proceed Form. That is the application form for export from Nigeria. So, for you to export from Nigeria, you must apply to federal government that you want to export. And you fill a form. And that form you are filling is called NXP. Then you attach your export certificate. So to get the export certificate or export license in Nigeria, all you need is a limited liability company. You were trying to say something. Nigeria Export Proceeds for. I will attach pro forma invoice. I will attach export license to the NSP. Export license, for export license in Nigeria, you need to be a limited liability company, not business name. And that limited liability company must have export as one of the objectives. You can also do it as a corporate. You can get export license as a corporate. But the objective of the business must involve doing export. Packaging, paperwork, pricing. You must know the pricing of the product. Be able to do your calculation for pricing. And then the pitfall talks about what can go wrong. These products, it cannot be in a hot environment. It's going to melt. So you must understand what packaging requirement will keep this product in proper shape. Pitfalls. Now, these are what you must know. The issue I discover is that many people export without knowing the product they want to export. They don't know the product they want to export. If you don't know the product you want to export, it's bound to fail that issue because you don't know the product. So you must learn and know everything about the product that interests